But something that I'm really focused on in my work is like focusing on that inner power, that inner healer, the power we were born with, instead of seeking outside of ourselves for that power, that confirmation. So I was curious, how were you led to that also being so big as part of your messaging? Like, what is your personal story with that? And how did it lead you there?
Well, for me, honestly, this is what it was. At a very young age, I walked Christmas morning, I walked into the room full of presents, and a whole wall was dedicated to me. And I would just start bawling after I would open them, because it never felt like it was enough. At age 6, I went into the kindergarten bathroom. I looked down at my thighs and I thought they were just too fat. From that age, I had a really an oil tycoon, sort of like go get him dad, a beauty queen mom. She was a personal trainer and nutritionist, oldest of 3 girls. I danced with anorexia and bulimia until I realized that God, drinking and drugs were a lot easier than that. Even tried on a life of stripping, where I was like, oh my God, this approval from this power that I feel over men, and this affirmation, this rivals drinking, drugs, anorexia, all of it. It felt so good, and just proceeded to live a lifetime of filling my insides with the outsides, constantly just hoping that someone could make me whole, something could make me complete, could fill that emptiness. I dated unavailable men, abusive relationships, tried to get sort of my worthiness affirmed in jobs. I just wanted to be seen. I wanted to be seen. And finally,
like the whole you.
Oh yeah. And I think a lot of people, a lot of women with eating disorders, they really want to be seen. For me, the way I was seen in my family was really shrinking so I could be saved. So that was something, that damsel in distress archetype I carried throughout my life, and playing a victim really got me love. So I learned that that's what I wanted to do. And then finally at 35, I walked down the aisle to a man who I thought he could love me for me. I could hand over my emptiness. He was like all powerful. He was all right. I wasn't totally into it. I was into what he had. And it was, 3 years into the marriage, I had homes in the Berkshires. I had the Land Rover. I had the country boots. I had the loft in Manhattan with the art gallery that he owned, and all the things dripping in pink diamonds. And I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I was the most miserable, unrecognizable version of myself, so far from who I am. And I realized sort of a turning point where I went to Equinox. I was like, usually did this like masochistic, like 7 miles on the treadmill, must run so I can earn the right to eat. And this is 30 years of that. And then I was like, I can't, I'm tired. I went into a dance class, which I didn't think was really an exercise. I couldn't like calculate the calories. But then I was like, I'm just going to do it. And I went in and I had my hat down low. I nestled into the back part of the dance studio, and I saw all of these people smiling and they were happy. And Rachel Platten's fight song came on.
Oh my God.
This is my fight song. I take back my life song. And it was like, that was my moment.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah, that was a moment. And where I realized, enough, like I am enough. This is something has to change. And I surrounded myself with this beautiful community of women who knew how to be happy, because I hadn't really experienced joy. in my life. It wasn't something that I thought that I deserved. And, really, I left that marriage that was suffocating my spirit. Really do take full ownership for it. And I started on this journey of self-love. And really part of that is like tapping into that power that is so freaking powerful, in fact, that I think that it made me drink. I think it scared me into bulimia to cause my nervous system. I mean, it is fierce, powerful. It is like, it makes my body buzz. It's so powerful.
Yes. Oh, okay. I want to talk more about that.
Yeah.
So I find that there's like this misconception. Like, I love that you said that, like, your power was so powerful that it actually was scary. Like, I feel like
Yes.
people think the power is like, I win everything. Like, I attract everything. I'm perfect. My power is my confidence. But like, your power as your whole being can be really scary. It's like you don't know how to embrace it. No one's taught us how to like actually own our space. So I want to hear more about that. When you say it was scary, what was scary? Like the feeling, how did that show up for you? And how did you overcome that scariness? If that's a
Well,
word.
I would definitely, yeah, I think it's a great question. And I have goosebumps because this is exactly where I am in my work right now, like with this coach. It's this power. And as a woman, there's so many forms that comes in. And for me, it's that creativity, it's that anger, it's that, it's that excitement, that exhilaration, that being, but which was really like too much for my parents. I mean, they threw some Prozac down my throat. I think I'm like still weaning off of it. You must be sick. You must have a psychological issue. At 13, I had all these feelings like throwing, furniture down the stairs, punching holes in the wall. Like, I didn't know what was going on with me. But it was hormonal changes, and I have those things now. So, it's like, I always just wanted to soothe that feeling, not make it go away. So like masturbate it away, run it away, cry it away, or, drug it away, anything, because it felt like out of control and unmanageable. And, if you're hearing that it's too much, then then it's going to be too much, but as a writer, as a creative art, and as an artist, it's like, I need to channel that. I need to put that too much somewhere, because that is like my art. When it's at its best, my writing is not a watered down version. It's not what it's going to get published. It's not what if I know I've written something good, it's because I have to call up my mom and dad. I have to say, hey, you guys, I'm going to get this byline. Absolutely do not read it.
Yeah. But everyone else, please read it.
Yeah, because it's vulnerable, it's real, it's potentially offensive. And it's this like, this truth telling. But that's what that power feels like. And I am just learning again, like, how to just sit with it, not change it, not discharge it in any way, but to be with it and feel it.
I just finished Glennon Doyle's book Untamed, and she said
What
like
did
the
you
exact
think?
same thing. Incredible. Like, if I could eat a book so it was inside me forever, then I would eat it.
Really?
Like, it was really good. And she literally said exactly what you just said. She was like, I didn't know how to be with the feelings. Like, everything was so out of control, and everything was like to like the bajillionth degree. Like, so-and-so is going to die, or I'm going to die, or this anxiety is going to kill me. Like, everything was so big. And she did the same, like drinking, drugs, like everything just to try and get it away. And like married the wrong guy, all that.
I
And
love
now
her.
she's
Have you read
like,
her first book?
not the
Sorry.
first one, but I read Love Warrior.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that one,
Love
Love
Warrior.
Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Carry On Warrior one I didn't read. I might
Yeah.
someday, but I just felt more called to Love Warrior in this one.
Yeah.
So she says the same thing. Like now she's like, I just need to be with the feeling. And when I'm actually with it, it's like after you go over that edge of what you thought was so scary with the feeling, you're like, oh, it actually wasn't that scary. I'm still here. Like I actually have more control now. So that's
I
really
know.
resonated with me when you said that, like just being able to sit with the feeling instead of try to escape that feeling or get to the next feeling. When you were
Yeah.
going through all of these feelings and, you know, when you were living that life of having everything you could dream of or anyone could dream of, were people around you noticing you weren't happy? Like, was your partner noticing, or were you just like playing the role so well and hiding your emotions so well that no one knew?
I probably was not hiding my emotions because I wasn't really that in touch with them. Like I was still very much asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Um I had always I was always a seeker, but I was like very much asleep. And my partner, really, he was my emotional equal, so I actually think he was probably worse off than me. I mean, I took on his pain
Okay.
and turned it in on myself, so um I don't think he really noticed. I mean, he noticed my like extreme weight loss, which was like my way of speaking up, like this isn't working. But I think that, yeah, I think my sister noticed. I think when I like right before I sort of called it quits with him, I went out
Mm-hmm.
to, I'm on the West Coast now, and I came out here to visit her, and she always brings me out of me. And she was
Uh,
like, wow, this marriage is making you sick. You're not
mm-hmm.
well. You're not well. And it was a different kind of not well, because before, when you're not well, it's like I don't know, you know, you're hungover, you're like any of these things where
Yeah.
you can point to it, but just my soul was just aching.
Mm-hmm. What were your steps to kind of lead you out of that? I'm sure like leaving your marriage was one, but what were
Yeah.
some steps besides like therapy and I don't know, even find your own place to live? Like everything seems so scary, but like the bravest and most true thing, it was like you could not
Yeah.
do these steps, you know, it was like literally almost like
Yeah.
life or death. So what were your
Oh, and
steps to get
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, like what were
And
your
that's what
steps?
I say. That's a great question. So my steps were
Mhm.
this. Like, first of all, I did a lot of them like inside the marriage, like because I was like afraid to just leave. And then like my first step was like I meditated. I at
Mhm.
one point I was like, I honestly felt like I was gonna like shoot myself. I was so crazy. Spinning. I was in therapy the whole time, but that wasn't really it wasn't the outward that I needed to do. It was the going inward to silence
Mhm.
that and learning. And I know Glennon Doyle also says that. It's like she had to just go and stay on the mat, you know, when she went to yoga class.
Mhm.
And then it's like, for me, meditation was the biggest game changer. If I used
Yes.
to, like, 2015, I have my insight timer. I mean, now I meditate like definitely twice, if not 3 times a day. I'm just like, I love it. Well,
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't say I do love it, but I am so uncomfortable when I don't.
Yeah.
I don't feel clear. So that was a big game changer for me. Morning pages, doing the sort of 3 pages of stream of consciousness allowed me to separate myself from thoughts, um, and the thoughts that were creating my emotions, and to really see them as just thoughts or phrases or sentences on a piece of paper. And again, encouraging acceptance of who I am and what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
Same with the meditation. So not that no judgment. I also did this exercise that I started to do with those girls that were in dance class called Intense Sati. And it's like empowered affirmations. It's like, think like high impact cardio, like crazy, paired with a Tony Robbins affirmation. So like,
Ooh.
it's like, I am powerful beyond measure. I am stronger than I think. I am braver than I seem. I am blessed with all I need. And it's like, I am enough. I have enough. And so doing that paired with movement, it allowed me to start to rewire my brain and the way that it was operating, and the self-loathing and the tapes that were really that I had operated my life on, which were lies, which were things that like I had picked up, maybe my parents passed them down from their parents, who knows, but they weren't true, and they weren't helping me. They were actually hurting me. So I was able to rewire my brain like that. And I'd say those were like the three things. Oh, and I tidied my closet. Like I condoed my closet. And so that was kind of like the catalyst to where I had everything amazing around me. And I realized my husband just didn't fit. He wasn't sparking joy.
Yes. That's amazing. I'm also kind of wondering, once you finally started feeling your power, that part's really uncomfortable to embody. So when you started doing these things to take those steps, you started feeling more in power. How did you really embody that? Like, just stay with that power? Because when you do start doubting yourself, like, oh my God, who do I think I am? And like, did I do the right things? And when you're really starting to doubt and almost wanting to go backwards, what are some things that you did and maybe still do to keep you with this present power?
I mean, I do a lot of Pilates. I do things that help me. I do some breath work to keep me really, it's like tantric breath work, but it's really just all about like the power that's like the second chakra, just down here in my root and in my belly. I do a lot of like sound releases and screaming and like movement. Movement is really, because honestly, when I moved, I got happy in New York, but then when I moved to the West Coast, not being around that community, I really am having to retrain myself again about what that power feels like in COVID. Because I was in a living situation where I was extremely triggered and sent back into this place of like little girl contracted stuff. So now I'm in Joshua Tree in the like expansive desert. It's like magical. It's like a vortex. And just trying to notice what comes up when I feel that anxiety. And this is really good to talk about. And what are the words or phrases or things that I start to tell myself when things get tough or things get scary? And it's usually like, this is stupid. I don't care about this anyway. No one's going to care about it, especially it's COVID. The only thing that people care about are, don't write about that. Or you're tired, so when things come up, it's like, if I sit through those big feelings, I'm tired is a big one. At least I don't know if you're experiencing it right now in COVID. I'm tired. I'm depressed. And I don't know, I'm like crying because I feel for the collective so deeply. Because like, if it's hard for me, someone who's been doing this work for a while, I can't imagine. I mean, I have my sister who has 3 girls. I can't imagine how hard it is for all these people who don't have
my gosh, dark night of the soul
you just gotta move through it. How about put some music on, dance it out, fuck it out, write it out, whatever you got to do to know, because you are okay. This power is a huge feeling, because we're being like going through this collective trauma as we speak, that PS are bringing up my traumas, your traumas, our brothers and sisters' traumas. Everybody is like grasping on to some sense of control, when really we just need to move it, cry it, just let it out. And those things, that's power. That's power. Those are our emotions. That's our humanity.
How do you help people now, and what do you offer?
So right now, I mean, I'm really focusing on my writing, because that for me is the thing that is the toughest to do. And so this is my cup. Cheryl Strayed, right, like a motherfucker. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I can just sit my butt down for 33 minutes, which is my goal every day, then eventually I'll be able to get into a groove. That's what I'm doing right now. I definitely have an Instagram that I love. It's kind of like an R-rated, tell it like it is, self-love with all the realness. Yeah, I love that. I teach workshops. I'm launching this project. I have a master's in organizational change, so I'm launching this product or curriculum, which is going to offer services to employees or organizations or individuals within these organizations that will help them heal, breathe, dance, yoga, stay inspired, move through these times. So I'm really working hard on that, because I think now is the time where even leaders themselves are struggling. People are taxed and maxed. We are cognitively depleted. And it just seems like this lockdown is continuing. So how can we, that's where I feel where I am called to help and nurture this creative community and culture. Yeah, because I think it's a lot going on. If we don't have access to all of our, I'm sure we're adapting, and amazing things have come out of crises, the Enlightenment, amazing art has come out. But I think that's what I'm doing. I teach self-love workshops as well, and getting in touch with your inner mean girl and your critic.
So I was reading, you're working on your memoir, or it's already done? You're working on it.
I'm working on selling it. So if you're an agent, you're listening. Yeah. It's titled Enough: How I Stopped Searching, Starving, and Striving and Became the Woman of My Dreams. And
oh, what a good title. Wow, it's like
you.
Working, striving, starving. Wow.
I know.
And it's like just read those words and be like, that's me.
Yes. I mean, it's actually good, because I like the title, because sometimes I'm holding like, am I doing any of these things? Am I starving? Am I striving? Am I searching? Yeah. So I mean, that's the deal. I have a product that I'm, working on. While I was going through the majority of the healing process, I did like take this crazy, like I went to my iPhone and I recorded a lot of it. So hopefully that will be part of like the pitch and the sell and potentially content one day. That's the vision, a multimedia memoir. And people don't really get it. But that doesn't mean it's not my vision.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm really working on that, and I'm excited about it.
It reminds me of like when Beyonce did like a digital album. That's what it reminds me of.
And she is my muse. Beyonce was not built in a day. Beyonce is my queen. She works hard. She's from Houston, Texas, like I am. She knows that pretty hurts. It's like so bad.
Yes, and you said like the multimedia, that's what I'm picturing. Like it's totally different than like what's already happening. So you got to do it.
Yes. So I'm excited about that.
Well, that's great. So do you find you have many people coming to you now? Like, are people kind of starting to look at you like their kind of life coach? Like they want that wisdom now from you and they want you to help them? Are you noticing things like that are happening?
Yeah, I got to be honest. It's been a little, I've been struggling to just stay afloat, to keep income. I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm just now shifting back. I wouldn't say shift. I'm shifting into the role of teacher, but coming at it from a different place. Before, I really wanted to be a teacher in the name of applause and versus like a cause. And now I feel just super connected to the pain of self-loathing, the power of self-love, the power of being able to sit with your power. So I really, am fired up again about doing like self-love boot camps and all of that work, because it really, the way the relationship you have with me, myself, and that I think that we have with ourselves sets the tone for everything in our life.
Yes.
The company we keep, the music we listen to, time we go to bed, the food we put in our body, all of those things. So, yeah, I'm definitely, I have to focus on the writing right now because that's the thing that's the hardest, and getting that book sold is, but I am like, have my hands in a couple other things.
That's
So
so
I'm
fun.
always,
I love having
yeah.
10,000 ideas.
I know. Yeah. And the biggest thing with one of the biggest like shifting, like biggest shifts in accepting my power was hiring an admin.
Ooh, asking for
Huge.
help.
Asking for help, delegating 5 hours a week. Like I definitely have, I never thought I could utilize her, but it's like, hey, universe, I'm putting my big girl panties on. I'm stepping into this role of teacher. I'm really willing and ready for and open to all the abundance and wealth and success that you're sending me. So bring it on.
I can totally relate with that. Like when I've been doing this work for years, but about 4 years ago, I was like, I'm going to get super serious with this. Like, I'm getting the website. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Made my own website. I would spend so much time editing and making that website that like a year into it, I'm like, I hate this so much. I hate that so much. And I'm like, I just want this website. So I was spending so much time on that, but then never being able to have enough time to actually do what I wanted to do. So finally asked for help. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so much more creative again. I feel like this huge weight's lifted off my shoulders. Like, and this person actually like almost gets my vision better than I was even trying to put it out there.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh,
that's really
incredible.
so great. That's so lovely. I love that.
So just asking for help was a huge thing for me too, to like almost like let someone in on your vision, or let someone in to trust them to also really carry this work with you and like to give a shit as much as you do. It's a big deal.
Yes. No, it
Yeah.
is. It's like, yeah, exactly. And I think that's what my admin Rachel really helps me with. It's really lovely. Like she just keeps the balls in the air while I have my, ups and downs, which I do,
So do you find you really have to protect your energy a lot where you are like super empathic?
Yeah, I mean, I do. And I think the work that I'm doing right now, just like subtle body breaths, a lot of like hip rocking, and really getting in touch with like the nuances of like what I need, my beloved, my highest self, what she needs. I'm really getting in tune with that, which feels good. And the more I write, the more introverted I am. And so, which is interesting. So I don't really need to seek that outside approval, because I really am. Because when I seek it, it's like I really just want connection, and then I forget, oh, I can connect with myself. And listen, I do want connection right now, and in the form of a man, and I want to be seen by a man, and I just want that connection. I don't even care if it's over FaceTime, but I don't need it. I want it, and I desire it, and But when I write, the way I connect with other people is just a completely different ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, I do need to protect my energy. Yeah, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
canary in the coal mine, and I think, right now we're very vulnerable. I think,
Mm-hmm.
right now, very vulnerable. So
If people want to follow your work or to connect with you, where can they find you?
well, you can go to Instagram, which is a great place, a great sort of one-stop shop for self-love with all the realness. On my website, all those, you can send me a DM if you heard me here, and I would love to just connect with you. It's Aubree, AUBREE .Nichols, NICHOLS. Yeah, and just from there, you can find all my writing, all my work, all my events. But I would love to connect with you.
Perfect. Do you have any final words of wisdom or anything else that you'd like to share before we close?
Yes, and I am honestly giving myself that's a great question. I'm giving myself this permission. So I would
Mm-hmm.
just imagine, close your eyes and imagine you as just a little, like 2-3-year-old. Just imagine that little boy or girl, and just today, just go throughout your day and treat yourself like you would treat them. Give them all the compassion, all the love, all the hugs, all the snuggles, all the tickles, anything that they would want. Help them feel cozy and safe and worthy and valuable, and really, and just shower them with love and compassion, and and give them the feeling that they are exactly perfect the way they are. And that's what I would say. That's what I would leave with you today.
Thank you. Oh, I love that. It's like that is real self-love and tenderness right there.